Hello, it's Marilyn, as you know me, and the show is called Creating Impact Talk Show. And on my show today, I have Leslie, Liesel. I'm going to pronounce
Liesel.
Liesel. So we're gonna just keep rolling rather than stopping. But anyway, I'm gonna let her introduce herself and tell us how she got into the idea of creating a mentor club. So I think that's so important. So go ahead, Liesel.
Thank you, Marilyn, for inviting me over. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about the Mentoring Club. And so people may be asking, but who is she, right? So I am Liesel Mendoza. My background is in tech, over 30 years in information systems development, information technology solutions consulting. And I would consider myself as a creative problem solver, caring employee, a responsible entrepreneur, and now a loving philanthropist with the opportunity to set up the Mentoring Club. And I have been driven from day one with two realizations. The first one is that I have a passion for developing people ever since I became a manager at 24 years old. And then the second realization that gave birth to the Mentoring Club was the empathy that I felt when I was networking around 2015 and I heard from young professionals the questions: how do I find a mentor? Is my manager my mentor? How do I ask somebody to become my mentor? So the awkwardness of asking for help. And I thought to
Yeah.
myself, with my background, maybe I can help. I can create a platform-based approach to mentoring.
Awesome. Yeah, because I totally believe in mentoring and mentoring others. And like you were saying, asking for help, asking for a mentor is kind of challenging, right? Even as we get older, it's probably more so because we think we should know it all by now. But we don't.
We don't. We could use a mentor at any point in our lives.
Yeah, yeah. So is there a specialization about people that come to be mentors or people that are looking for mentors? Is it mostly career-based or how are, how is the subject matter?
So when I was thinking about a global community, I thought, there's so many industries, right? And my push was more around leadership development mentoring,
Mhm.
because I felt that if you know what you want, then you can develop the skills that you need to achieve what you want. So it's goal oriented, right? So
Right.
and leaders are normally the ones that are very firm about, okay, this is the dent that I would like to make in the world,
Yeah,
and this is my part, and so how do I get there?
right.
How, so it's not any specific profession or industry, since it's also global. Then I just considered anybody in the workforce who has that drive to find out the leader in themselves and
Yeah.
then bring it out. That's where we come in to help with the appropriate mentors to share their journey.
Mm-hmm. So how does it work that you have mentors on standby or do people just request a certain mentor and then you search out for what they're looking for? How does that work?
Okay, so for the mentors, so both mentors and mentees register on the platform. And so for the mentors, what I'm looking for are people with, number one, high self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy and successful, and in their own terms, not other people's standards,
Yeah,
because happiness and success are subjective. If you say you are, you are.
yeah.
And then the third qualification is that they're ready to give back. So I'm looking for people with the same heart of giving back so
Mhm.
that we can make a positive impact in somebody else's life.
Right.
And so the first two, high self-esteem and being in a good place, are very important, because when the mentor sits with the mentee will sense right away if they're in a good place. And that
Right.
would be inspirational, motivational, and encouraging. If it's not, then it will have the opposite effect. So
Right.
I go through orientation, onboarding sessions with all the mentors, and I clarified the expectations,
Mm-hmm.
and they confirm, yes, they're ready to become a mentor. Now,
Mm-hmm.
having said that, since life changes at
Yeah.
any second, right? The mentors have the ability to tag themselves as not available in case they
Mm-hmm.
have to prioritize other things in their lives and
Right.
cannot help a mentee. So that's for the mentors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the mentees, they sign up because they've already realized that I could get some guidance on, the things that I'm thinking about, whether it's career, whether it's life. And we encourage people to look at career and life goals
Mm-hmm.
because we only have one life to live. Career is a big portion of it, but
Yeah.
that's not just it, right?
Yeah.
And so we encourage our mentees to look at their lives holistically, and then if they feel that they could benefit from the guidance of a mentor, then they
Mm-hmm.
sign up. I do the orientation with them. I try to understand what are your goals. If
Yeah.
they're confused and they don't know, what their goals are, but they just know that they need help, then I help them try to extract from and help them reflect as to what are important things to them, right?
Right.
And then once I have an understanding of the core goals that they have, then I would recommend a short list of the mentors that are suggested to them in
Right.
the platform, because in the platform they would have a long list of recommended mentors based on the development skills that they specified during registration.
Right. Right. So how
So I
many
help them
mentors do you have
shortlist.
in your platform?
How many mentors?
Yeah.
So mentors and mentees right now are over 400 registered mentors and mentees
Mm-hmm.
in 50 countries, all the 6 continents.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that the split right now would be around 55% mentors,
Yeah.
45% mentees.
Mm. Mm. So who would you like to have more of, both or just one or the other?
Oh, well, I cannot serve the mentees without the mentors, but the end customer are the mentees. The reason
Yeah.
why we exist is to help the mentees, right?
Yeah.
And so the more mentees we can have, the better. And
Mm-hmm.
then the mentors can have multiple mentees, and the mentees can also have multiple mentors
Oh,
depending
okay.
on the skills that they would like to develop in themselves.
Right, right. So do you find if you have a multiple mentors that there's conflicts? Do you run around, do you have any mentees that complain about the conflict about your two different mentors?
Mm, so I haven't encountered any issue with multiple mentors. So I guess let me give you an example of
Hmm.
how the multiple mentors could work together. It's like you have an advisory board, right?
Right.
So there's an example of one mentee who graduated with an accounting degree,
Hmm.
work at one of the top firms as an auditor, and decided that's not for her, right? So
Hmm.
that is common for most
Okay.
people, where you graduated, you studied, and then you got the job that you studied for, but you
Hmm.
realize that's not for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so she found out that what her passion is around helping kids with disabilities, right?
Okay.
So she quit the auditor job. She got a mentor to help her design her path towards the behavioral therapy
Right.
profession, right? And so, of course, she also has to think about, okay, do I have enough savings, right?
Yeah.
And so this kind of exchange happened between her and the first mentor. And then they also had to work through, okay, what are the options for income while you're studying? And
Mhm.
after you finish your studies on behavioral therapy, then what is how do you get the job, right?
Right.
So that was the first stage, right? And
Yeah.
then because of her interest in helping kids with disability,
Hmm.
she also wanted to create some clothing and footwear company. So
Yeah.
doing a startup, right, in that field. So once she was able to get the job as a behavioral therapist, then she worked on her next goal, which is to set up a company that is friendly for kids with disabilities, whether it's footwear or clothing.
Hmm.
And so she needed another mentor for that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, she kept the first mentor because they're trying to monitor what's going on with her just organization of both career
Yeah.
and startup.
Yeah.
And so the second mentor was somebody who was focused on marketing,
Hmm.
getting to know yourself better as an entrepreneur. What are your values? What will your company stand for?
Hmm.
How will you present your products to that audience that you're
Yeah.
trying to serve? And then, of course, the third mentor, after she's doing her
Yeah.
profession and as a behavioral therapist and trying to get her startup going, talking to vendors in Mexico and India,
Yeah.
and so she's getting stressed. So
Yeah.
the third mentor is a mentor to help her with stress management,
Yeah.
right? So and being able to practice gratitude, having time for herself.
Mhm.
So all those three mentors actually helped her a lot in having the energy, pursuing her goals in both the profession and the passion field that she has. So
Yeah.
pretty much very holistic approach,
Yeah.
and stages.
Yeah, yeah. I would imagine that's over quite a period of time. It's not very short time
Hmm.
impacted, it'd be over
Yes.
some sort of span because it takes so much time to study, then get the job, and then
Hmm.
work at the job long enough that you feel like, okay, I'm ready now to do my side
Hmm.
gig, which is over here, right? And develop that. They call
Hmm.
it stealth mode, I think, in tech, right? Stealth mode and figuring it out how it's going to work. And then, yeah, okay, I'm ready to launch. But in the between, you need that mentor to help you get out of there to the next step, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's really, yeah, it's long term, and
yeah,
each in that case, right, it's a long term
yeah,
journey from one mentor to another. But in some instances, there are relationships where it could just last for 4 to 6 months,
right,
and it's very much centered up on the goals of the mentee.
right, right. Well, I mean, that's why you're mentoring, right? You're not there to, have a mentee to tell you, the mentor.
Yeah, yeah. So the mentors,
Another reverse relationship here going on.
yeah, absolutely. So we share our experiences. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
they make the decisions, right? The mentees make the decisions
yeah,
because we want them to bring out the leaders in themselves,
yeah,
and decision making, drive, values. Those are traits and characteristics that they have to develop in themselves
right.
consciously.
Right, right, yeah. Because there's, as you know, being an entrepreneur, that takes so much different type of abilities or emotional and well-being to be high, have high confidence and self-esteem to be an entrepreneur. If you don't have those, it's very hard, because there's so much rejection and everything else you have to deal with, right?
Hmm.
Your business.
And since you mentioned that, one of the things that I've also found in many of the mentoring relationships is that the support of a mentor adds to the confidence, or builds up helps build up the confidence of the mentee, right?
Right,
They didn't realize that they could do it until somebody was telling them, "Yeah, I saw you do this." And
uh,
you look that was great, right? So try it, talk
yeah,
to other people about what you've talked to me,
yeah,
and uh, and then try it. So sometimes it's just our fear
yeah,
that's preventing us from going out there and doing what we think is right.
yeah.
But as soon as we do it, we that gives us more confidence.
Right, right. It's all by, I think somebody said it's all in the doing. you get your confidence flowing, right? You know, you
Mhm.
learned how to think on your feet, you're able to just move into your role, whatever new role is, whatever that is, to keep moving forward, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
and there could be many reasons why our confidence is affected. It could be our culture, because we are a very diverse
mhm,
environment here in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley. People coming from different countries, from different cultures. It could be that, it's influenced by, the practices that we have, even our family environment, right?
right,
But when you go out there and you have somebody who's cheering you on, then it builds up that confidence
yeah.
to really go out do it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. So, is there do you have any wishes right now that you would like to have more of in your organization?
Yes, in addition to more mentees and more mentors, funds.
Yeah.
So, as a nonprofit organization, we are banking on the generosity of friends, friends of friends, and of course, people, strangers who find us in social media and they believe in the cause and they
Yeah,
support us both, morally and financially. But we haven't reached that point yet where we feel that we are, in a position to scale as a
right.
full-blown organization with employees. Currently, we have consultants who are on stipend basis,
Yeah,
part-time, and then we have a lot of volunteers. So I've been
yeah,
very, very blessed with a lot of volunteers and committed volunteers, right? So
yeah,
they're really turning out great work. But of course, it's really different when you have full-time staff, right?
yeah,
That you can push the programs,
yeah.
the one after another. And so, yeah, well, that is my wish is that eventually we would have enough funds that we can support and scale the programs and maybe
Mhm,
grow from 400 to thousands and even
right.
hundreds of thousands that we can serve out there.
Yeah. So do you find the demand quite high then? Do you have such a thing as a wait list, or is everybody just accepted?
Oh, everybody is accepted because we wouldn't really know what they need until I talk to them. For now, I'm talking to them. Eventually, we will have community managers trying to understand who are the mentors, who are the mentees. So
Right.
for now, I talk to every single mentor and mentee,
Hmm.
and when I see that, for example, a mentee is looking for a mentor in a specific field,
Right.
and if I don't have a mentor in the platform for that specific field, then what I try to build up in that mentee, of course, with their agreement, is that
Yeah.
networking skills is what we can guide you so that you can open up those relationships with the people that you are actually targeting,
Right.
and build up that skill.
Hmm. Yeah, because that's a really important skill, especially for young people to build up the networking. I don't mean networking on your phone. I mean in
In
person, face
person.
to face, right?
Yeah, and building the authentic, caring relationships, right?
Yeah.
So networking is just like, oh, I need something from you, and so I want to connect with you. It's not really that. It's like
Yeah.
how can we enrich each other's lives, right? Sometimes you will give, sometimes you will have to ask, right?
Yeah.
But if you find that there is alignment in values in the work that you are both doing,
Hmm.
then it only benefits both of you to know each other.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Great. So I wanted wrap it up pretty quick here, but I do want you to tell us how people can get involved with the mentoring club, and how do they get involved with you as a mentor and a mentee? And then you had some things that you wanted to hopefully ask for some donations as well to support your cause. So how do they all do that?
Okay, yes. So if you are ready to give back as a mentor, and based on the qualifications that I mentioned earlier, so you would be changing lives, positively making the world a better place, and really caring for the mentees, and seeing them through their journeys. Please go to our website, and that's www.thementoringclub.org. So
Okay.
make sure you go to the .org, and then you will see be a mentor as one of the menu in the tabs, and then for the mentees, if you're in that state where you're there's something inside of you, wanting to come out, meaning to become a leader of your life, to figure out what it is that you want, or develop certain skills that you see in people and you don't know how to bring it out in you, then please don't hesitate to register as a mentee, so same URL, and you just go to get a mentor. Just click on the option to get a mentor.
Okay.
And then for volunteers, it would be great if you could send me an email, and that's at Liesel, Liesel, at thementoringclub.org. And let me know where your interests are when it comes to volunteering. We
Mhm.
also have a volunteer link on the website at the footer, one of the links in the footer of the website. But please feel free to just connect with me directly, whether through email, and also you can find me on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
And as far as, since we're on this talk today, I'd like to honor the conversation with Marilyn by giving a discount code. You can get a 3-month free access to the platform and the community of mentors
Mhm.
by using the discount code capital C, capital A, capital I. So it's like Canada, Andorra, India,
Yeah.
0603100. So that's the discount code. And if you, for whatever reason, if it doesn't work, just email me again, right?
Yeah.
And let me know that you found out about the mentoring club through this talk show, Create an Impact. And then lastly, for the donations, if our cause resonates with you, if you would like to do a donation, Marilyn will provide the link. It's a Square donation link. And if you donate a minimum of $10, then we can mail you free items. So I have 2 different shirts here. One of them I'm wearing today.
Mhm.
So this is our Give Back Lead Forward shirt from 2023.
Mhm.
And then this is our generic shirt, which has the logo.
Mhm.
Um, and just in case I don't have the size I don't have the size of the shirt that you need or would like, then I can also give you discount.
Yeah.
So I'd be happy to mail this to you, and yeah, by support, with your support to the
Supporting it.
mentoring club.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Oh, you're
Marilyn.
welcome. So I'm gonna put all the links below this video and when this show goes out. So if anybody forgets or don't remember what the code is, it'll all be posted. So just to support the mentoring club, I think it's so important to mentor. And even if you think that you're not going to be a good mentor, you never know, because being a mentor also brings out the skills that maybe you lack and that you'll gain from being a mentor. It's
Mhm.
amazing, really truly
Yes.
is. And amazing.
And a mentee can be a mentor. A mentor can be a mentee. So
Yeah,
we also have that ability to make people have dual roles. So we could
yeah,
all use a mentor at any point in our lives.
right. Yeah. But we have to be willing to ask for help and recognize that we need help to be asking for a mentor. Just as a mentor obviously needs help, so does the mentee needs help. So thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us, sharing us your story about the mentoring club and how you got it started. I always think it's so interesting how people get things started. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody, and tune in. The show will be aired next Monday. What's the date next Monday? I guess I should have had it ready to go, but so today's the 13th, so it'll be out on the 17th. 17th of June, we'll put it out, and so you can listen, tune in, and see if there's something you can learn or you'd like to learn more about. So thank you. And be kind to each other. Kindness does matter.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much.